Hello and welcome to Veggie Patch Ideas. The season so far has been dreadful, but let's look at the successes we find ourselves with in July. So this year, as you know, I started a new allotment site on the back of the old one, and it's looking full. There isn't an inch wasted in here. It's all looking good, and we'll look at some of the high spots on the new site. So if you can remember back a few weeks ago, we had the video on how to sow leeks, and these have come on leaps and bounds. They're doing beautifully and they're really strong. I'm very happy with the leeks. And the same goes for the dahlia beds. These are actually banging, and I haven't had that much slug damage, and it's amazing because they've been waterlogged. We've had nothing but rain, but only one or two plants have been absolutely mullered, but the rest survived and they live to flower. All of these beds behind me, these were sown from seeds, and the ones in front were from tubers. They're all doing absolutely perfect, and hopefully year on year these will provide the flowers or cut flowers for the house. And even the sweet corn has recovered. It got hit by a very nasty storm the other day and got almost flattened. It's back on its feet, the supports are on, and we're looking good. So here we are on the long bed side of the allotment, and we'll take a look inside and see what's going on. Let's just take the netting off. And we put this netting on to stop the cabbage white butterfly coming and laying their eggs. And it also provides a bit of shade. So this is first the broccoli bed. And then while we're here, we may as well do both. Now this is the kale bed, and it is absolutely flourishing. We've got our curly kale, dwarf curly kale, and our black Nero, which is absolutely bulletproof. Nothing will hurt that stuff. It's looking really well, and now's the time I'm going to start taking a harvest from this bed. Along the side we've got spring cabbages or summer cabbages, and these are coming into their own. Some have took a bit of a battering, but all in all I'm very happy with the kale bed. And now moving on to the broccoli bed. This is coming into its own as well, and it hasn't really suffered. Quite a few heads are ready for harvest. I've took a few off, but we have 2 or 3 that are ready and 4 or 5 which are waiting to come. So the broccoli bed is an absolute success. Some of it down near the cameras are looking a little bit shaky, but again, I'm happy with what we've been through so far. It's looking really good. And then moving into the polytunnel, the tomatoes are pretty much exactly where I want them for the time of year. And that's the cucumber that's gone all the way to the first bar, which is absolutely perfect. And the tomatoes now, they're coming into their own. We just need that little bit more heat to ripen these up. But all in all, not too shabby. And the blueberries, they are absolutely flying, and I've been harvesting these and they're cropping well. I need to get some more of a harvest because they're starting to drop, which is not good. We've got our melons, which are doing very well, and we're gonna start to see some fruit on these melons soon. And I've been hearing a lot of people having problems with ants this year, and you're not alone. I've got an ant's nest too. It's in the blueberry area, and I just leave it be. They're not doing me or the plants any harm, and they'll leave in their own sweet time. Over to the bench, and we've got our carrot seedlings, and if you didn't watch a video, please go and see it if you struggle with carrots in any way. These carrot seedlings These are ready to go in now, and because they're so big and mature as seedlings, they're not going to get as much snail or slug damage. So that means we will end up with carrots for the autumn. And if you're struggling, always as a last resort, do a plug of carrots and you will never fail. And in the smaller raised beds, we've got our courgettes, and these are starting to produce now. They're looking fantastic. And also our main bed of courgettes, these are starting to come into their own. It's all looking good. There's a few plants which are struggling, but the others, the ones that have come on really strong, they are producing fruit. So I'm very happy where we are with courgettes. And then next up, of course, we have the onions, and these were sown from seed, and these have done tremendously well compared to the onion sets I bought, which are absolutely trash. What happened was the onion sets got drowned out basically by all the floods, whereas the onions from seeds were kept in a seed tray on a table, just getting wet through the spring and staying wet. And then I planted them out towards the end of spring, and now they're in the ground. They are really flying and taking up size. They are perfect, and they are not starting to bolt yet as the weather warms up. It's been cold up to now, but I'm keeping my eye on them. If it gets too hot, I'm going to water them regularly and try and keep them bolting down. But so far, so good. And then last up, we have the chilli house, and let's just take a gander in here, see what's going on. We have produced an absolute ton of chilies this year, and they are looking really, really good. I'm watering every couple of days, trying not to overwater. It is hard. A gardener's natural reaction is to soak everything, but I do want these to dry out a little bit before I water them again. And they are just coming on perfectly. We can take a look. Chilies everywhere. And at the bottom we have our bell chilies. Now these haven't got any sort of decent size to them, even though they have started fruiting. And these are mini bell peppers, and let's just take a look. There's one. The plant's not a decent size. I would have expected the plants to be bigger, but they're fruiting and they're not doing any harm, so I'm going to claim that as a success. And last but not least, take a look at the cherry tomatoes. These have started coming into their own now as well, and we're days away from the very first cherry tomato here on the allotment site in the southwest. So it's all coming together. As you can see, guys, the weather has been terrible and we have been battered for the start of summer, and let's just not talk about spring. We're clawing our way through, and this is what I want to give you on this channel: a guide or sort of a platform where you can follow along, and hopefully you'll see some and like they always say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and what weather doesn't put you off makes you a better gardener. So we've come through a terrible time. We're stronger because of it, because we know some tweaks we can make to our gardening to ensure success. And if you can, follow along to the channel. I'll talk you through and walk you through step by step, month on month, and hopefully we'll all see success together, and we can share below in the comments. And that being said, if you want to celebrate any of your successes, put them in the comments. Tell me what you've done or what's done really well for you this year, despite the odds, and we'll all give you a thumbs up and some praise to get the ball rolling and make this the most successful year yet from now. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and it really does mean a lot to this channel, and we'll see you next time.